Oh, Kevin, how you doing? Yeah, good man, good. We're recording. You're gonna
this
record
is Kevin.
soon.
He's,
Am I going to record soon?
Yeah, maybe you record
This is
now.
Kevin.
Do you want to record now? Would you like to talk, Kevin?
This is his work.
You're recording.
We're
Kevin,
live.
here you go.
This is live.
Kevin, here you go.
What is that?
Tell us about your work. Tell us
Is
about
this
your
a
work.
microphone?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a microphone.
Okay.
You can either.
Hold it.
Yeah, you can just hold it.
I'm a bit tipsy, so
So am
Yeah,
I.
perfect.
Alfie can,
So am I, we're fine.
Alfie can edit this really well.
Yeah.
Don't put in everything.
Yeah.
I don't know what to
are you
say.
Good? Okay.
Let me think. Oh wait.
Yeah, this work we were discussing about Nigerian folk cultures and mythologies and various communities having their own systems in place. And obviously this work, so much of it is about systems. Louis' work is about systems, and so is yours. And it's so rich and powerful. What I love about the work is the way it captures the tension, and just formally speaking, between like fully formed to the point where it becomes real. So you see like aspects of the work that literally come out to you as if they're real, like 3D, you know?
Yeah.
And then that is juxtaposed with an empty space. So you have a complete thing that's literally jumping out at you, and then there's nothing next to it. And then that tension is like, and then everything in between is just full of all these symbols and stories and ideas, and it's so perfectly composed together. And it's yeah, I love this piece.
I mean,
so if you
even,
can tell us
that contrast you talk about initially is quite good as well, because like at least I would say that like there's something about like wanting to like, which is why I don't work on paper. I think working on linen feels so different, because there was something I got from a friend who's a painter, and they kind of gave me linen to paint, to encourage me to paint, but I ended up just drawing on it. But I realized that like when you draw on linen, it activates the drawing so differently, because linen becomes a base for like drawing and like working on that operates different paper, because I guess paper is kind of almost like it's kind of expected that you draw on paper, you know? You write on paper, you sign on paper, you like draw on paper. But when it's linen, there's kind of a different kind of expectation of what's supposed to go on linen.
Yeah.
And
what is that expectation?
yes,
Painting or
yeah. I would say like I struggle to paint. I find the process a lot more like intimidating and a lot less like accessible to drawing, because drawing is so like immediate, you know, the material to the page straight away. But with painting, there's like you know, oils and different kinds of like materials you use to tint the paint and to like make it like operate differently to how I want it to work on the page. And different colors, which is obviously
and methods, right?
You know, and not to say that like, you know, you can't be spontaneous with painting, but I think I find drawing just a lot more like I don't know, immediate in the sense that it relates to the way I feel like, I've always been drawing irregardless. And I think like, I do like that relationship where I have like the absence of any drawing still being a drawing in and of itself.
Absolutely.
And the page in and of itself being like its own color and its own like, I guess, mode of seeing and experiencing the work. And I don't think, there's no like right or wrong way to see it. Well,
no, there isn't. It's
like,
just you know, the tension is present. Can you tell us about the symbols in the work? Obviously, you're drawing from like cultures that not that many people know about. If you can tell us a little bit about the folk traditions that you're representing here, and how they tie in with each other within this composition, which is not necessarily based on any objective that relates to any particular culture, but it's your own aesthetic application in the way you're bringing it together. So your
I'd say with like
and then what's inside.
In Nigeria in particular, you know, and I guess this makes sense to other colonies as well. What's the thing where like when England and France and other countries drew the borders across like what we call Nigeria today, they drew it across other nations that existed like for thousands of years. And I think there's this thing where like we have over like 500 languages in Nigeria and like 250 ethnic groups. But at the same time, Yeah, right?
That's a lot.
It's still like ends up centering the people with the most population, with the most like cultural influence.
Yeah.
You know? So a lot of Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo groups.
That's what
end up
you
being
hear
centered.
about. You hear about
Yeah,
Yoruba.
you know?
Yeah.
And that isn't a bad thing in and of itself, that they're able
Yeah.
to get like exposure to like kind of like solidify the country's like national identity.
Yeah.
But the problem and the limitations of a nation state is that
Yeah.
it always like leaves out the people who are minorities, you
Yeah.
know, in any sense. And I
But the
think,
homogeneity
yes,
is
you
the
know,
result
it
of
just suddenly like starts to
mainstream
erode.
culture.
Yeah, like mainstream culture, unfortunately, the consequences that like it erodes like minority culture.
Yeah.
And you know, it's annoying that there has to be this even binary or dynamic.
Yeah. But it is, right? That.
Yeah.
So what are you trying to
So this is from my dad's side of the family.
Oh.
And it's a mix of both for my dad and my mom's side, but it kind of centers my dad's side of the family because that's where we got a lot of Christianity and a lot of like, I would say like British colonial like aesthetics and understandings of how to like express ourselves in the world and how to like exist in the world, you know, to be Christians, to speak English.
Yeah.
And like I have like an English name, Kevin, but I also have like Atari as my like Egon name, which is our tribe.
So
And,
what was the tribe's name?
Egon?
Egon, E-G-O-N.
E-G-G-O-N.
That's a cool. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Egon, and
yeah.
Atari is an Egon name.
Yes, yeah.
I love that name. Isn't
you so
Atari so much cooler than Kevin?
I wouldn't say, maybe I wouldn't say
I mean,
cooler,
I would-
but I'd say
cool.
it operates like differently, you know, for me
Yeah.
at least, yeah. Like Kevin
So you
is a
have
name I
two.
still accept because I still have like the life and the relationships
I mean,
and the people who call me
it doesn't
Kevin.
go away.
Right, but Atari is something that like, it's something that felt very personal. My grandparents call me that, my parents call me that.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And they call me birth names, you know. And it's one of
Yeah,
those things that
yeah.
like how, but I ended up being the case where like birth names also simultaneously represented like different identities and different ways of being. And which is why I kind of use Atari as like, or Atari as like my artist name. Because it just makes sense to like express a part of history that I feel is like unresolved and overlooked and misunderstood, you know?
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, a lot of this history and people show resistance to British colonialism, it's always like reduced to like terrorists, or they're just called like, you know, but like in any other sense, like if you're at home, just with your family, and someone just broke in and was trying to destroy everything and steal your clothes and steal like your history and your like, you go mad, like of course not, like, you know, but then they're always framed to be like this like uncivilized primitive people who had no understanding of community, of love, of care, of just being human. And I think it's something like I want to be able to restore, or at least make sense of. And it's a place that I was also just able to like relate to and connect with. And I guess the kind
Do you
of
want to
work,
turn a little bit where
Yeah,
you
of
face the
course.
camera as well? Because
Yeah.
you look really good, you know, when you're presenting. So you're, right?
I know I don't want to look at the camera.
Don't look at the camera, but just like face a little bit towards
okay.
me, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's something about like wanting to fully manifest and articulate like aspects of culture and my personal humanity that like I haven't seen anywhere else, you know. I've seen a lot of like, I'm very inspired by a lot of like Black British, Black American artists and African indigenous artists that are making work about like indigenous identity, indigenous aesthetics, and how to like make sure that those like ideas are able to live on into like how we experience and communicate in the world, so that they're not just kind of erased everything else that was erased in like the colonial period. There's a lot I could like,
absolutely. So what I see is you, and so is it just Egon culture that you're interested in bringing and working with, or are you
Egon
also
culture
working
is like, it's only centered because that's my culture, you know?
Yeah, so is that the only thing you're working with, or are there other cultures as well that you're
No, I
including?
mean, definitely like why I got
research
into making art and why I got into like making images in the first place was because of anime. And like,
Really?
Yeah,
Tell us
in the
about
most
your
basic
anime.
sense.
That's interesting.
I mean, anime like Naruto and like
Naruto,
Attack on
okay.
Titan They all have themes about like cultural identity, but relative to like Japan, you know, and how like
And
using.
Atari could be a Japanese.
Yeah, I mean, funny enough,
is though,
it does
right?
have
Isn't
the
it?
same like spelling and meaning
Yeah.
with like the Japanese.
Are
Like,
they actually? That's
Atari,
crazy.
yeah.
So Atari
It's-
means the same thing, and it's pronounced in the same way. Both
Relatively
in
the same way,
relatively
yeah.
the same way in Egon as well as in Japanese.
Yes.
That's absurd.
Yeah, it's a bizarre coincidence, but I think there's also a lot of coincidences.
That's a
with,
wonderful
like,
coincidence.
I mean, when you think of like the Silk Road,
Yeah.
you know, that like, there's been a long history of trade between Asia, Southeast Asia, and
Yeah.
like, you know, Eastern Asia with
Yeah,
like
yeah.
North Africa. That
Yeah.
goes back thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah.
That ends up like complicating how we understand language, trade,
Yeah, absolutely.
cultural aesthetics.
True.
And you know, it's always been a global world. The internet just makes it easier to like access that like understanding and way of being.
Yeah.
And I think like in my work, I never want to like always incorporate everything. You know, you can never be past your biases and your own like limitations as a person. And I understand that, and I guess try to accept that in my practice. But
So how are you drawing from the Japanese inspiration, and then
I'd say like there's a lot of like, you
Working
know,
with the culture.
there's something in this work where it's quite like flat,
Yeah.
you know, in a sense.
Yeah.
And everything is forward facing. When you look at a lot of the wood prints that like Hokusai did,
the Japanese woodprints?
yes,
Yeah.
that kind of was like a prelude to like manga art and how we understand like images and like,
Yeah.
you know, paneling and the
Yeah.
building of
Go on.
narrative. And I was kind of always trying to like complicate how I built like narrative,
Yeah.
as opposed to like just having like bold and tight lines. I kind of was trying to weave a character that was able to be the catalyst, or at least the vessel that I could use to like